Yes. So in the last session, we were discuss about introduction to Python. So Python is a general purpose, high level, object oriented programming language. And Python is case sensitive programming language. And Python, using Python, we can able to develop different types of applications like console based applications, desktop GUI, web applications, gaming applications, network programming, data analysis applications, audio and video based applications. Then these type of applications we can develop using Python. And basic features of Python is it is easy to implement, and it's a cross platform. That means platform independent nature, and it's a open source, free and open source. And it is a multi language pattern like object oriented, procedure oriented, and functional oriented. And it is having huge standard library. That means when we install Python software, so built-in libraries will be there, so that all will be installed. Using that, we can able to develop the application. And Python is having simple syntax, and it's an expressive language, we can say. Python is portable and integrated, and extensibility features are there. So these are the basic important features of Python what we discussed in the last session. And how to get starts with Python. So you have to install Python software. So you know how to install Python software. Yes, as console based web applications will be Django applications. We can't show that all application development. Okay, so we can show that complete script of Python, complete core fundamentals of Python. So generally we used to do that console application development. So how to write our principles, all those things. But web applications purpose you have to use Django framework you have to use. So in this Django will not be covered. This session is completely belongs to core and advanced Python, which is related to console based. Next, how to get starts with Python programs. So software need to be required. Just now I told it is a free and open source. So simply you have to collect from Google. So download Python, you can type download Python, download Python. So it's simply available 3.7.3. It's a official website for Python, www.python.org. Now you can see here download Python 3.7.3. It's a open source, anybody can click on it. So download, it will be downloaded. After that you just follow the steps, next, click on OK. So it will be downloaded. So once we downloaded Python software, so I told you that different ways to write Python programming, like using uh, uh, Python using interactive mode, using script mode, using Python ideally, using PyCharm editor. Okay, so there are different ways to write Python program actually. Using interactive mode, using interactive mode, interactive mode, interactive mode. Next, using script mode. Script mode also we can write Python code and execute. Next, using Python IDLE, Python IDLE. Next, using PyCharm editor, PyCharm editor, using PyCharm editor. So interactive mode in the sense after installation of Python software. So as soon as when we type here in the search and ideally click on it, so it will be interactive mode only here. You can see this is an interactive mode. Interactive mode as soon as when we type the program and it execute and it display the output. No need to write any separate script file. So you no need to write your what we can say logic code in separate file. So directly whatever we enter there, so after that it will be print. You can see this. Just wait. This is an interactive mode. Enter. Enter. So this is calculation. So here a value 10, a print. Because here you can see a value purpose I have not given any a data type, because Python is dynamically typed language. So based on given value, type will be decided implicitly. So if you want to know the type of A, then type function we can use in Python script. So type is int type only, it is there, int type. Suppose my value is 12.3, 12.4. Then 12.4 type is what? If you want to know, then type of 12.4, type function 12.4. Directly we can pass value also. Float type it is actually. So based on given value, type will be decided internally. So you need not to specify any type explicitly, because Python is dynamically typed language. It is completely interactive mode way we have to write. So no need to write your Python code and save in separate file. Directly it will be executed. Here it is interactive mode. Now next one, script mode. No? Script mode in the sense you have to write the code in Notepad. You have to write the code in Notepad. So Notepad means if I'm writing the code like this, suppose uh, some simple statement I'm writing welcome. So after that you have to be save this file with the py extension. So py extension is compulsory. Test.py I'm showing. It is my which mode frequently used in reality. So that's what I'm saying yesterday only. PyCharm editor is the best way to editor, best way of writing Python script. Yes, PyCharm is undoubtedly. So desktop, I'm saving test.py. So click on save. Now you can see Python script mode is ready, print welcome. So this is script mode. We have written script file in Notepad. So we saved in my desktop. I want to execute this test.py file. So if you want to execute, then we can open command prompt. No need to execute in command prompt. Directly you can execute in the Python ideally through also, but both the ways I'm showing. So your file is located in desktop, so you have to change the directory. So cd space desktop, cd space desktop. Then after that you can run py space test.py. So I have to run this py python, or else instead of py we can type python also, no problem. Python space test.py, your file name.py, then you got an output. Otherwise you can type python also, python space test.py, so it will be run. So this is interact script mode. We have already script file, I have to run through command prompt. But you have already script file, if you want to run through Python ideally also is possible. Python ideally is this one only. Python ideally this one. Now here I want to open a file, existing file. Click on new file menu and click on file. So which we have file in desktop, select this and click on open. So it's very simple. Script will be open. So if you want to run this, you can run menu and run module like this, it will be run. So this is also simple way. So no need to write a Python script file and everything. Okay, no need to write Python script file and everything. Directly we can go to Python ideally also. Using Python ideally also we can write. There only I have to generate my new file. New file means instead of Notepad I can create new file. So write the something code here. Just small code I'm writing. So here we can write it, but you have to be save compulsory. So save. I'm saving my file sample.py in my desktop. Just I'm saving. So file was saved successfully. After save, which we have written in the Python ideally. So run menu and run module. That's it. So we are going to run our module. So module means in Python every .py file is called module, we can say. So sample.py also module. So 300 is result is coming. So other than these interactive mode, script mode, Python ideally, it's a better way of using Python script is PyCharm editor only. So let's do with PyCharm editor. So PyCharm editor need to be installed actually. It will not come along with Python software. So PyCharm editor installation purpose, again, you have to go to Google and download PyCharm. Download, download PyCharm editor. Download PyCharm editor. So here download PyCharm editor. It is official website for PyCharm, jetbrains.com. Jetbrains.com here. Now you can see download PyCharm editor, jetbrains.com from, this is third party editor. Now you can see two options are there here: professional for both scientific and web Python development with using HTML, JS, and SQL support. Then download free trial version only. It is not full version, but community version for pure Python web development, that is free and open source. Free and open source means so anybody can able to do that. For core and advanced Python concept, this is quite enough. And if those who want to develop web application patterns for the Django framework, using Django framework, for them it is required compulsory. So full featured IDE we can able to develop using this is professional editor only. So I have downloaded this one. After downloaded, you just get this file like this. You can see this. After download PyCharm editor also, in your download folder you will get this type of file, PyCharm community version. You just double click on it 3 times, next, install it. That's it. It's very simple. So within less than 1 minute of time it will be installed, no problem at all. Okay, so this is PyCharm editor setup. But PyCharm editor how to open? So let's go to PyCharm, and JetBrains PyCharm community edition icon will be there. You just click on it. But as I said in the last session, in the PyCharm editor also, you have to create project first. You have to create project first. Then after we have to add some required files. That means any number of files we can add in one Python project, but Python project files are required. Using that files we can able to write the code. So that is the thing actually here. So let's open PyCharm editor. It takes few seconds. Hmm. So I created in the last session one project also, Python Python project at 6 a.m. I think so. Let's check out quickly that. So let's open PyCharm first. It takes some time. It's opening. So what is the advantage when we are using PyCharm editor means we have some options while writing the program. Some IntelliSense debugging is very easy. Okay, so clear cut indentation, structurally it's good, so no need to get any confused. Instead of writing notepad, better option is PyCharm editor. But notepad I can't recommend to write the code, because those who know very well about Python syntaxes and script with indentation, then I strongly recommend to use notepad. Otherwise no need to use notepad. So I'll show if I write the code if I write the code in notepad, what was the problem actual initial cases. Okay, so if same code if I write in PyCharm editor, what is the advantage, I will tell you. It's loading project. So already we created project, no? So let's open that. So if you want to open new project, existing project, so you can go to open option, or else you want to create completely new, you can create new only, no problem at all. So while creating new project, you have to give the project name, then after you have to start. So for example, new project, so you have to give the project name and click on create it. Once it will create, so you have to add some files. How to add some files? So first let me open our existing application. Open, and Python it's what we can say, yesterday we created, no, Python project at 6 a.m. This is what I created. Yes, this is my project name, Python project at 6 a.m. Yes, this is what. So we were added one file called test.py. How to add file means right click on Python project at 6 a.m. Go to new and click on Python file. So here you have to give file name. Okay, file name. So any file you can able to give that with the name py. Py is also not mandatory here. So click on OK. So file was created, Python file. Here you can write your Python script whatever you want. So suppose I am writing print hello. I want execute what sample.py. Simply right click on it and click on run. So that is coming in the console window hello. So this is PyCharm editor through we can able to do. So What is the advantage here? While whenever we type that, as soon as some intelligence is coming here, so this is the advantages. And debugging also is, it's very easy in PyCharm editor. So why Notepad is not recommended? Okay, suppose if I write the code in Notepad, for example, this I want to open with Notepad, test.py, Notepad. Simple logic I'm writing, you can see this. A value 100, if condition I'm writing, if A equals to 100. This is conditional check. Print after checking condition, print I want to do true. Then else part it has to go. Then print true. Sorry, false. Print false. This is my code. A value already initialized. 100 value will be assigned to A. If A equal to 100, if it is true, then print statement will be true. Then otherwise else it is false. So let's click on save it actually. Click on save. So once I click save, then I want to run this test.py in command prompt. So you will get an error. What error? Indentation error. Okay. So let's move to first location, then py space test.py. So you got an indentation error. So you can see indentation error, expected an indented block. So indented block in the sense what? So indentation means four white spaces. Generally, if we consider in other languages, uh, when we are working with if control statements like if, all, for loop, or any other things functionality, we use indentation. We use to consider the block purpose. We use open bracket and square bracket. So open bracket and square bracket means this is. So for example, if a function is there, if condition I'm writing, if condition open and close, else condition open and close. So this open bracket close bracket are considered as a block of code. So this is else block, this is if block. So inside this open bracket close bracket, what statements you have written, that belongs to if and if condition. Here inside whatever we write the statement, that belongs to else condition, else part. So there is no such type of brackets in Python. So that's what we use indentation. Indentation means four white spaces. Let's open this notepad again. Okay, let's edit it. So with indentation is not there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Four white spaces I'm giving. Here 1, 2, 3, 4. Save it. Now once I save it, so now this time it will run perfectly. Why? Because this print statement is belongs to if block. This print statement is belongs to else block. So that is the reason it's going to work out now. So indentation is clearly there. Now let's try to run the same program. Py space test.py. Py space test.py. Now enter. So true value is coming. That means code is executing. So previously it was not there. Previously what? It was indentation error. There is no indentation maintained. So that's what it's written false. It written error. Now this time we have given correctly indentation with four white spaces. Some space we include space is required because of uh, to consider the block of code. So that's what indentation is required. So if you write the code in notepad, this is the problem actually. By default indentation things will not come, but same code when I try to write in PyCharm editor, you can see this same code I'm trying to write. A equals to 100. If A equals to 100, then immediately when I type, when I enter, then where it is going to blink cursor, after indentation only cursor is blinking. So now this time it's clearly true. Then else part you can take, even else part after also, after indentation only cursor is blinking, that is false. So let's run this, it will work fine. So whenever we remove here space, backspace also, again here also indentation problem will come. So what is the problem actually in the sense, if we write like this print statement is separate statement, it is treated. This also it is separately it is treated. So this is not considered the block. So if we give four white spaces, okay, four white spaces, then this will be considered a block of code. So this print statement is belongs to if, then this print statement is belongs to if. So to consider the block of code purpose in Python, we use indentation. In other languages, we use open bracket, close bracket. So is that mandatory to give four white spaces? No. Any number of spaces you have to use, but space must be required. Suppose you can see one space also I have given, then here one space also I have given. It is working now. So one space, only one white space only given. So it will work, no problem at all. But why I am telling four white spaces indentation means by default the editors will accept four white spaces as an indentation. That's what I'm telling, four white spaces is called indentation. So this is called Python indentation. So we have to write carefully. While writing the program you have to take carefully, because the indentation level must be matched. If indentation levels are not matched, then it will not be work out. So this is the problem. So I'll not recommend to write the code in notepad. Those who know very well about Python script and syntaxes clearly structurally, then I can recommend to write the code in notepad. Otherwise better to use Python ideally or PyCharm editor, anyone is working. Now this is about in the last session what we were discussed. Now coming to this session, I'm going to discuss about few things. Like first we'll start with the uh, identifiers. Identifiers in Python. Next we'll go with the comments in Python. Comments in Python. Comments in Python. Next we'll go for multiple assignment. Multiple assignment. Multiple assignment. Then last we'll go for keywords or reserved words. Keywords or reserved words. Reserved. Reserved words. So these are the today concepts. So identifiers, comments in Python, multiple assignment, and keywords or reserved words. We'll see that. So just now we talk about indentation. That is clear. So let's start with identifier. What is an identifier? In Python, any name is called identifier. Yes. How I can identify a person with a name? How I can identify the class with a name? How I can identify the variable with a name? So in Python, any name is called identifier. Either it is class name, or it is variable name, or it is function name, or it is any other name. If I have name, then I can identify it. So that is called identifier. If you want to define any identifier like variable name or class name or any other function name, okay, so you have to follow some rules. What rules we have to follow while defining identifier? Rules to define identifier. So rule number one is identifier is allow lower or uppercase. Identifier is allow lowercase or uppercase characters. Yes, lowercase or uppercase characters. Next, identifier is allow digits. Identifier is allow digits like 0 to 9 digits it allow. Next, identifier should not starts with digit. Identifier should not starts with digit. Identifier should not starts with digit. Yes, it can allow digit, but it should not starts with digit. Next, identifiers are case sensitive. Identifiers are case sensitive. Identifiers are case sensitive. Case sensitive means how the way you define the identifier, same way only we have to access. So identifiers are case sensitive. Identifiers are case sensitive. Next, um, we cannot use, we cannot use, we cannot use, we can't use keywords, 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 keywords as identifier. We cannot use keywords as identifier. We can say that. Next, identifier allow underscore. Identifier is allow underscore. Is allow underscore. It's allow underscore. Next, identifier should not be two parts. Identifier should not be two parts. Identifier should not be two parts. Two parts. So if you want to maintain two parts, better to use underscore. Next, if an identifier starts with underscore, if an identifier starts with if an identifier starts with underscore, then it is private. Then it is what? Private. So these are the rules to define identifier. So identifier is allow lower and uppercase characters. It allow digits 0 to 9. Should not starts with a digit. It should not starts with a digit. Identifiers are completely case sensitive. We cannot use keywords as identifier. Yes, we have keywords. Some keywords are there. I'll tell you that keywords we cannot use as an identifier. So keywords are having special meaning. So we can't use for general purpose. Keyword next identifier is allow underscore. Identifier should not be two parts. If an identifier starts with an underscore, then it is what private thing we can say that. So let's see practical implementation. Identifier is allow the lower and uppercase character. No, suppose EMP ID equals to 123. Print EMP ID. Yes, it's print. No doubt at all. It's lowercase identifier. If it is capital, yes, capital. So here also capital. Lower and uppercase characters will allow. So lowercase, uppercase character is allowed. Next identifier is contain digits. It's allow digits actually. Yes, EMP ID 2. So here EMP ID 2. Digits also allowing. So nowhere anywhere we can able to give the digit. For example, EMP2 ID. Here EMP2 ID. So it will work out. EMP2 ID. It will work out. You can see. Yes. But what I'm saying should not start with digit. So it's contain digit, but it should not start with digit. For example, here 2 EMP ID I'm giving. It will not work out. Identifier should not start with digit. So look at here. Syntax error will come. Invalid syntax. So identifier should not start with digit. Identifiers are case sensitive, no? So case sensitive means how the way you declare, same way you have to access. For example, I declare in a capital case, but I'm trying to access this in small case. It won't work out. You can see. So identifiers are case sensitive. Name error is there. The name EMP ID is not defined. That means EMP ID is nowhere it is defined. But it's defined, but this is capital, no? It's not going to be fine. Because of Python is case sensitive. How the way you have declared, same way you have to be accessed. This is case sensitive programming language. Next, identifiers. We cannot use keywords as identifier. Yes, we have some keywords. For example, I'll tell you that the keyword list also. Suppose here I'm giving if if is a keyword actually. So you have to use for that special purpose only the test specified condition only. Other purpose we can't use that. If equals to 123, but you are trying to use as a variable, it will not possible. So syntax error. How many? Yes, I'll tell you. Just wait. Hold on. Syntax error. Invalid syntax here. Invalid syntax. So this is if is a keyword, but you are using as a variable. So that is not work out. So keywords are reserved words. So many keywords are there in PyCharm editor. So whatever the blue color available, that are all keywords we can say that. For example, here DEF is a keyword. You are using DEF also as a identifier, as an identifier. So it's not work out. Okay, so that's what keywords should not be used as identifier. Now identifier is allow underscore. Yes, identifier is allow underscore. Yes, it is. For example, a underscore a is available. Yes, it is private thing, we can say that. How in other programming language we can write private, private, public. Okay, so same in Python. So there is no public private writing. So only how to consider if the any variable or any field starts with underscore, then it is private. Yes, that is also there, but that's not an that's not an private actually. That's the special what we can say, special variable, we can say that. We'll come to know that because in our Python session we have a lot of special variables. Underscore underscore name underscore 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 main underscore underscore. So all those things we have. Okay, so that we will come to later. So this will be, if it is starts with underscore, then it is what a private variable. So what happen if I'm giving like this? You can say this underscore underscore. So you can see identifier is allow underscore. So it is underscore allow, but actually after giving underscore there is no meaning. If we give underscore starting, there is a meaning called private. If I'm not giving underscore, there is a meaning called public. Public means once we declare the variable, anywhere we can access. But here private means Once we declare the variable in where, within the class, within the function, there only we can access. That's outside of the function we cannot access. Outside of the class we cannot access. So this is private thing actually here. So if an identifier starts with underscore, then it is private. Identifier should not be starts with identifier should not be two parts. So two parts I'm maintaining. For example, you can see EMP space ID I am giving. Some space is required for me. EMP space ID. It will not allow to you. So EMP space ID. EMP space ID. It's not allowed. So it's not two parts. That's what it's allow underscore. So if you want to maintain two parts, then better to use here two parts, EMP space ID. So now we got like this, 1, 2, 3 like this. Okay. So this is about identifier rules and regulations. So lowercase, uppercase characters are required, but strongly recommended is uppercase. Oh, sorry, lowercase. Why? Because when we use uppercase variable declaration or anything, but again, while accessing, you must and should be on caps lock, and sometimes you miss also. That's not recommend. So better to use lowercase only. Better always. So these are the identifier rules and regulation. Identifier is a name. Any name in Python is called identifier. Either it is variable name or function name or class name or any other name. We can do that. Okay. So same way, identifier and related to variable. So what is variable? So variable is a named memory location. Variable is a named memory location. Variable is a named memory location. So this is variable actually. So a value 100. So 100 is going to be stored in what variable? A variable. So A is a named memory location. So 100 memory is A. So variable is a named memory location. So in Python, while declaring variable, you need not to specify any data type. It won't work out. You can see this. It won't work out. Why? Because Python is dynamically typed language. So no need to declare any data type of the variable based on your given value. Type will be decided implicitly. Type will be decided. So our value is 100. We printed, but I want to know the type of value, type of A, type of variable. You can use type function. Type is a built-in function to get any type of variable. What type of variable it is, if you want to know, you can get. Suppose here I'm giving this type is float value. Suppose here I'm giving this name. So this type is string value. SAI. String is a group of characters. But sir, group of character we are saying only A I'm taking. But is this character? No. There is no char data type in Python. So you can see this, even it is also string will be written. So this is what. So this is variable we can say. And in this variable case, a variable is a named memory location. Yes. In this variable case, we have some multiple assignment. So what is multiple assignment? It's very simple. Multiple assignment means, so in this case, one value only I assign to one variable. Assigning one value to one variable. So this is value will be assigned by using assignment operator, that is equal to, we are assigning value to variable A. This is not multiple assignment. Multiple assignment in a sense. So assigning, assigning, assigning single value to multiple variables, assigning single value to multiple variables, or else you can see assigning assigning multiple values to assigning multiple values to so multiple variables, assigning single value to multiple variables or assigning multiple values to multiple variables. This process is called multiple assignment. So let's go with assigning single value to multiple variables. Single value to multiple variables in the sense A equal to B equal to C equals to like this 100. So print A, then after print B. This is multiple assignment, we can say that. Print C. Okay. So when I execute this, we got same 100 value for 3 times because we are assigning one value to multiple variables. This is multiple assignment. Next, assigning multiple values to multiple variables. Multiple values to multiple variables means multiple variables are there, multiple values also there. Then print A, then print B, then print C, print C. So we got like this 100, 10, 20, 30 will be assigned to order. What order? 10 will be assigned to A, 20 will be assigned to B, 30 will be assigned to C. So this is multiple assignment concept, we can say that. So why don't we print in one line? Is it possible? Yes. A, B, C like this. It's possible. So like this, we can give 10, 20, 30. Okay. So this is also possible. Multiple assignment is like this. Single assignment is different. One value assigned to one variable. Multiple assignment is the process of assigning multiple values to multiple variables, or else assigning single value to multiple variables. We can say that. So this is multiple assignment section in Python. And coming to the part comments. What is comment? So where we can use comment section actually. Comments in Python is important. Why? Because whenever we are writing the program, some lines you don't want to include in the execution part, then better to make the comment. Not only for that, so when we give the comment section in your Python script, so Python interpreter will ignore the comment section actually. Python interpreter will ignore the comment section. It will not be considered as a part of execution. Not only for that, whenever you want to write your description, whenever you want to write description about your program, okay, so you are typing today program, but whenever later if you want to open, you can open it, but while opening you want to know that why you have written this variable, why you have written this class definition. You want to write some description when you later for clarification purpose, when we see the program, then we can include that your own added lines, extra added lines in the comment section. So when we add so many lines in the comment section, that won't be considered in execution part. So that is comment section. Here comments are two types actually: single line comment and multi-line comment. We can use single line comment, multi-line comment as your wish, but always single line comment starts with what? Hash. Here hash. This is also comment section. You can see this. Always single line comment starts with as, multi-line comment starts with the, look like here you can see. Suppose I have only single line comment. So line 1 I want to do comment. So we have to use hash. We have to use hash. Wait. Now line 2 also I want to do comment. So you can make that line 2 also by using hash. Line 3 I want to do that. Line 3. Then hash. Multi-line comment, single line comment, it like this. But I don't want to 10 lines I want to comment, then you can use a multi-line comment. Line 1, line 2, line 3, like this. Line 3, these are the line 3 started with the triple quotes, ended with the triple quotes. So your comment section is multi-line comment like this. So multi-line comments is like this, single line comment is hash symbol. It's very simple. Suppose I'll write some group of statements. Print hello. Similarly, I am writing a few more lines just for showing. This first two allows I want to print. When we print now, this time we can see all will be print. All will be print. But first I don't want to do that. Suppose this I will change. So I don't want to print this one. Then you can maintain that single line comment. How will not be displayed. But here I want to print like this, but these two lines I don't want. So multi-line comment for these two lines you can keep. So that two lines will not be included in execution part. So that is hello are you, it is coming. So this is what comment section, it's important. So whenever you are going to write the program, so you write your own description in your program for later understanding. That's make in comment. It will not consider in execution part. Your interpreter will not consider in the execution part. So that is about comments. So like identifiers, comments, and multiple assignment variable kind of things. Coming to the keywords or reserved words. So every programming language is having keywords or reserved words. So that is called special words, we can say that. So if you are using keywords in your Python programming means, so you are going to use some special purpose. That keywords are reserved words, you are going to use some special purpose actually. So when we use that keywords or reserved words in your Python script, so you are saying to your interpreter, so I'm using a special purpose. So that keywords will convey a special meaning or special message to the interpreter. So to do a specific task. Suppose if is a keyword. If I am using if keyword in my Python program, that means I am going to perform test some condition. I'm going to perform test condition. That means specific condition I have given that I want to test it. Then we can use if. Suppose you are using def keyword, def keyword, define. So that means you are going to define something. Okay, while keyword, you are going to loop through something. So this is called keywords. You can't use that keywords as normal variables. As I told you in identifier also, keywords should not be used as identifier. You can see keywords. We cannot use any keywords as identifier. So Python also is having lot of keywords. Sir, how to get a keyword list? Okay, yes, I can show in the documentation in the keywords also list will be there. But through program, I want to get the keyword list completely. Is this possible? Yes, possible. You can see this import is also one of the keyword. Then you can see keyword. I'm importing keyword. This is called library. This is called module. We can say that. Like in your terminology, we can say C, C++ people will call header files and Java people will call packages. In Python, we can say modules, import keyword. So import keyword is a module. I'm doing, I want to print completely keyword list. Then print module name is keyword. Module name is keyword dot kw list, kw list. So completely keyword list will come. Now you can see these are the Python keywords which are going to be supported. So these are the keywords are there. You can see these keywords. See, in these keywords, first three keywords, notice that clearly. So all the first three keywords starts with what? Capital letter. False, none, true. These are the capital letters. Remaining all are normal small case keywords, small letter case keywords only. So in our sessions, in complete Python script, I used to cover all these keywords according to my requirement. Yes. So in some cases, in exception handling, for example, in exception handling, what keywords I covered except, finally, okay, else, all those things. Try, I'll cover. Suppose in the function cases, what I'll cover, return, return, and if condition, else condition, all those things. Okay, if logical or operators, true and or all those things. In object oriented class, in iterative transfer statement, continue and break. So these are called particular purpose, particular case. We have to use actually these keywords. I'm saying all keywords will be covered in our session. So these are the complete keyword list in Python. Okay, so if you want to get, you can get it keyword list from your Python script, any editor. It will work out in any editor, no matter it is. Suppose here, sir, I want to go with uh, uh, Python ideally. So it is script mode only. For example, is there any possibility? Now you can see this import keyword, import keyword, import keyword. Then what I want to do, keyword dot kw list I'm using. So we got keyword list here also. It's no problem. Even it is command prompt also, it will work out, no problem at all. So this is what keyword list we can say that. So these words are reserved words. You are telling a special message to the interpreter. So these words we cannot use as an identifiers or any variable purpose. Only special case we have to use. Suppose import is one of the keyword. No, you can see this import. Importing in the sense what? I'm importing some library. What library? KW list is a function. Yes, it's a module name and it's a function name. KW list, keyword list. Yes. So now you can see keyword is a module. Keyword is a module. It's a predefined library. So just now I told Python support huge standard library. When we install Python software, that libraries also will be installed. It is one of the library. In that library, what was there? Keyword. KW list is there. I want to get complete list. Yes, we can do that. No problem at all. Suppose what happen if I'm trying to do that? You can see KW list I'm not going to use. KW list only none I'm giving. None. Is this possible? No, it's none is not present inside the keyword module. Okay, it's one type of keyword actually. We can't get that. So KW is a prerequisite function, predefined function in the keyword module. So we got this KW list through all keywords. So these are about keywords and reserved words we can use in Python script wherever it is required. For special cases only we can use. In general cases we can't use. If you are using keyword in your script means there is a meaning actually. So Python interpreter will get the meaning from your program. So according to that it will be behave. So this is about today's session, like identifiers, comments, multiple assignments, keywords, and indentation, how to start with Python program, all those things. So in next session, we will discuss complete the data types in Python. What kind of data types will be there? How to work with the data types? All those things we'll discuss. Okay. So do you have any queries? Please ask me. So tomorrow also same time, that is 7 a.m. 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. class will be there. Okay. Yes. And daily 1 hour session will be there, and after completion of sessions you will get recorded videos. I told already. So without import keyword module, can we print all the keywords? Yes, we can do that, but importing is different actually here. From keyword import star, you have to use, then it is possible. So why we are using module name in the sense, because module name, if I say, you can able to get clearly uh, which module it is available. This is another way, another style of importing statement. Yes. Yeah, I will share all the documents also once we registration completed. Once I get confirmation from our team, then I can able to do that. Yes. Without import statements, KWL is directly written, because import statement is in different way. We have a separate topic to do with modules, how the way you have to import with the module name or without module name, all those things. Yes. Any more? Yeah. So shall I leave? Mm, yes. So see you tomorrow at same time, so 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Tomorrow topic is complete data types. What type of data types supports Python? Uh, what are the data type list? How to work with the data types? All those things we'll discuss in detail. Okay. So have a nice time. See you tomorrow. I hope yesterday video also you got the link. Okay, yesterday video link also. You can watch that. Those who missed, those who are having first day, so no problem. Today our people will send that yesterday session link, and today's session link also. Watch the videos and all. So from tomorrow onwards we'll continue. Anyway, later once we register, then all from the beginning onwards I'll send recorded videos to your Google Drive. Videos will not be downloadable. Okay, it will be available in a lifetime in your Google Drive once I share all my recorded videos. No worries at all. Yes, fine, fine. See you tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care. Oh, someone is chatting. What is? Yeah.